So we are all boys. We're all boarding. There's not many schools left, at least in the US, that are all boy and all boarding. So I think that makes us unique, as well as our location. We're semi-rural, right? We're not in a major city. We're about an hour and a half south of Washington, D.C. So we're close to, airports, we're close to cities, right? And all of the culture and things that come along with cities, but we are a little bit more removed from that, right? The pace of life is maybe a little bit slower. Boys are able to focus on what really matters. Maybe there's not as much, social pressure to grow up too quickly or focus on things that don't matter as much, but they can figure out who they are and what they care about and why, and push themselves academically as a result of us being all boys and our location and being all boarding. The ones that are more advanced that boys tend to gravitate towards would be one of our classes in mathematics is called Seminar in Advanced Mathematics. And that rotates on a 3-year basis and basically ensures that no one runs out of math while they're here. So they study, group theory, abstract algebra, symbolic logic. They do a little bit of multivariable calculus, number theory, and then some linear algebra and game theory. So it rotates a little bit. So it's not going to be that every single year, but over a 3-year period, they'll hit all of those topics. That's been a really helpful class and resource for boys here to make sure that they continue to push themselves in math. There's a physics class that is super popular as well. It's basically like an undergraduate level research physics course. And so every year we compete in the US Young Physicists Tournament, and they will publish like 4 open-ended problems. The boys will spend much of the year working on those problems and then ultimately compete against a number of schools, both from the US and internationally, towards the end of the year in the US National Championship. So that's been a really cool, class for boys to kind of push themselves if they're science focused or interested in science. And then there's also, an aerospace engineering course that we offer where they're basically making a car for a school F1 race. So it's kind of cool. There's a lot of different offerings, a lot of cool courses and classes that boys can take here. I think ultimately what we want to do is challenge them appropriately, right? Foster their curiosity, their love of learning, right? And give them all the tools and resources they need to be successful. Yeah, so kind of, not just on our campus, but getting the boys out. So we do a number of events with other schools. So our boys are members of some various programs and things. They go to conferences, they go to retreats, they'll meet with other schools. We'll do some community service outside of our campus that would involve some other schools. So we also hold dances, right? So there's a number of girls' schools kind of in our area. We socialize with about 5 or 6 girls' schools that are nearby, which I think helps boys, certainly meet girls, but also just kind of create relationships off of our campus to connect with, again, unique schools, different kids, and learn a little bit more about the US while they're here. We have a number of trips. So every year we have an expedition program. Every grade level will have a trip, and it will be, some are very localized to our immediate area. Some of them are more regional, right? So they'll be in the Washington, D.C. area more, or they might be a few hours away from here in West Virginia or Southwest Virginia doing some humanitarian work, right? So it just depends. But I think in general, we want to make sure that they connect to each other here, certainly on campus, but also we want to make sure that they connect with our wider community and get us, as an international student in particular, right, that they get to know as much about the US, our culture, our history, and see some of the sites that are nearby to us. If you're interested in something, we want to connect you with our teachers. We want to connect you with our students. So don't hesitate to, ask questions. We want you to get to know us. Again, I want you to make an educated decision. And the only way you're going to do that is if you talk to the people here, right? Can you see yourself here? Can you see yourself in our programs and within our student body. So I think that it's important for you to ask questions. I think if you're able, getting to campus and seeing it for yourself is going to be really helpful. We offer a bunch of different types of visits, right? Boys can actually spend the night on campus in a dorm room and live life as a Woodberry boy for about 12 to 18 hours, sit in on classes. We're happy to schedule individual meetings with a teacher or a coach or a student leader if they're available. So we're happy to do all of those things. Again, I think this is a really hyper-relational community. We want you to experience that. We want you to ask a lot of questions and figure out, is this the right fit for me? Can I see myself here? Can I see myself amongst the students? Can I see myself being happy and challenged and all of those things? So we just want to help families make those informed decisions. Our alumni network is extremely strong. So one metric that I would share is just that our alumni giving rate, so meaning all of our alums who kind of give back annually to the school, is about 2 out of every 3 living alumni, which would be the highest rate certainly for any boarding school, but also out of any college. So we have the highest giving rate in the country for any private school or college. And so I think that speaks to their level of commitment to the school, to their experience here as students. And that goes beyond just money, right? Those people are coming back, they're giving their time to the school, they're meeting with our students, they're helping them get internships, they're helping them get jobs. I graduated in 2010 and I'm still on a text message group with 96 of my classmates. And it's constantly firing, hey, I'm thinking about going to graduate school. Has anybody done any of these MBA programs? Has anybody, I'm moving to Atlanta, I'm moving to DC, trying to understand, where in the city I should be looking at houses, right? That those resources really kind of go above and beyond. And Woodberry does events around the country and around the world. So they get together, they see each other, they come back for reunion. We have an amazing turnout every year for that. So I think that from our end, we're hyper relational as a community that extends well beyond your time as a boy here. And Woodberry is always here to help as we're able to make connections to amongst other, an alum to an alum, and to help in any way that we can.